Done very well. Lord Zash will be proud.
I see. Nothing yet. What makes this slave so bold as to enter my chambers? Tell me, slave, are you insane, or do you have a death wish?
If you think this is bad, you should meet my other personality.
Skisk. Kill her.
I believe this belongs to you.
Clever. Zash must have stayed up many a night to think of that one. I suppose you'll be sending my bodyguards away now, or maybe you'll order them to kill me.
I don't need you. Go home and take your relic.
You shouldn't have done that. The bodyguards, they're nothing. Show. But you subverted my authority, took my slaves from me, and that makes me angry. And killing you will be over too soon. No. I think you're going to have to suffer first. Is this? Ha! Did you... Zash! Zash! You've killed me!
How does it feel to be killed by a slave, Scotia?
Mindless. You don't know what Zash can do. Think of how many years she must have spent plotting my death. She will kill you, just like she's killed me.
If that day comes, I'll be ready for her.
Well, when I'd heard she'd taken up with a Mandalorian, I was scandalized. Just scandalized.
A Mandalorian? Does nobody value Sith blood these days?
I know. Don't you think so, Zash?
I places amins wajhajs fools. Gawandida seek from Tauhans.
I'm sorry. Will you excuse me? I need to have a quick chat with my apprentice.
If you must. Now, as I was saying.
Thank the Emperor you've arrived. It doesn't matter how much one drinks. These parties are just dull. I hope you've come to cheer me up.
I have dismantled the machine.
He's dead then? Excellent. You have performed magnificently, apprentice. None of this would have been possible without you.
Lord Zash.
Darthanaton, I'm honored.
Don't let me interrupt you.
Don't go anywhere just yet, apprentice. This call won't take long, and I have some further instructions for you. As I said, my lord, I'm honored, but why call me?
You have nerve, Zash. Nerve. But I thought you were smarter.
With all respect, Darthanaton, I don't know what you're talking about.
Don't play ignorant with me, Zash. Scotia's dead, and you killed him.
Scotia? Dead? That's the first I've heard of it. When did this happen?
Just now, Zash, and you know it. What did you expect to gain? His position? His title? You know it doesn't work that way. Where's your discretion?
Discretion? I've been at this party for ages. I may have had a little much to drink, but I'm fairly certain I haven't murdered anyone. Though I have always fancied Scotia's chambers. So much more shelf space.
Zash, I don't want to have this conversation by Hollow. Report to my chambers immediately.
Yes, Darthanaton. It'll be my pleasure.
What was that all about?
Give me time to talk to Thanaton, and then meet me in Darth Scotia's chambers. And don't worry, you've played your part, now it's time for me to play mine. We did it, apprentice.
There she is. It's Lord Zash's apprentice. Surely she knows.
You wouldn't tell us if she did.
Warpain's Brigan Iswis Buidan.
Still, it doesn't hurt to ask, does it?
Colonel, let it rest.
I will not let it rest. Everyone knows Lord Zash was at the party when Scotia was killed, and yet everyone knows she killed him. She somehow devised a way of being in two places at once. If I let it rest, we'll all be dead.
That's why I'll never tell her secrets.
Good idea. Don't tell him anything, apprentice.
But I must know. Please, you must tell me. How did Zash kill Darth Scotia?
Actually, I killed Scotia.
Clearly she's not going to tell you, Colonel. Let it rest.
Fine then, fine. But I'm warning you, Calaveras. Lord Zash is becoming too powerful too quickly. Since when has anyone in the history of the Sith committed a murder so brazenly, yet made it appear that she was somewhere else the entire time? It's enough to wake the Emperor, I tell you.
Perfect timing, apprentice. I just met with that insufferable Thanaton, and I have good news.
Everyone's talking about how you killed Scotia.
Good. Let them talk. They can't prove anything, and it'll drive them mad. And my meeting went exactly as I planned. You would have been proud of me. I went into a reprimand, but I emerged a Darth.
Do I get a promotion too?
For now, you remain my capable apprentice. However, a Darth can raise an apprentice to a Lord, so your prospects just improved. Remember the map you found on Korriban that pointed us to the power of Tulak Horde? The first piece of that artifact, that power, is here on Dromund Kaas. This piece is in the deepest chamber of the Dark Temple. Scotia always hoarded the key to the chamber like a Hutt hoards his credits. Now I have Scotia's title, his chambers, his research, and his key. He always said I would enter the Dark Temple over his rusting corpse. However, I won't be the one to go into the Dark Temple. You will.
I always have to do your dirty work.
Before I went to Korriban to choose an apprentice, a furious apparition awakened in the Dark Temple, implacable in its anger, murdering all who trespassed on the innermost chamber. But I had a dream. An apprentice of low origin humbled himself, or herself as it happened, before the apparition, pacifying it. That's why you and your peers were chosen.
Wait, you want me to bow to this apparition?
You must go into the temple and face the apparition. And when you do, I believe that your humility will be the key. Still, I want you to know, I'm not certain you're the one from my dream. I fear I may be sending you to your death.
Don't worry about me, Master.
You're right. You retrieved the holocron from Korriban when no one else could. If that's not proof of your destiny, I don't know what is. Tulak Hold's power awaits us both. We must not lose sight of this goal. Use this glyph to enter the innermost chamber of the Dark Temple. Humble yourself before the apparition, and bring back the piece of the artifact.
Sai galut saira, iswis us ulf bandan, ja atnam, in puidangarja. Jawais from Bamadaga, I house the dedum, neevle lidum.
Can you sense it, my lord? Something out there? I wish it were in my head, but I know it's real. Please excuse me. It's these long nights, excavating relics near the Dark Temple. I'm Major Swain Lothar, Imperial Reclamation Service. My team uncovered several significant artifacts at a nearby dig. That's when things started going wrong.
Perhaps your team exhumed something.
They didn't report anything like that. Just the artifacts. Then the mysterious visitors. First, it was strange noises from the temple, then figures lurking nearby. My team didn't like it, but I told them to push on. Now they're days overdue, and I owe a report to Lord Duan. But I can't go out there. I need someone to find them, make sure the artifacts make it.
Those artifacts will be with the Empire soon.
Thank you. I was just about to write the whole dig off as a loss. My team's still in those caves. Whatever's happened, please bring those relics to Lord Duan. He's overseeing a small camp by the Dark Temple.
I've only a moment to rest. Those things from the Dark Temple are attacking again. Jez thinks they're drawn to the artifacts. I bet he's right. They went berserk the second we packed everything up to leave. It's time to make a stand. If those crazies want our relics, they'll have to kill us first.
I've sent 3 separate expeditions into the Dark Temple. Not one has returned. I can't say for sure what's going on, but people who go in there, they don't come back.
What makes you say that?
Sounds I heard coming out of that place would send a Rancor running, if it was smart enough to run. You can survive the Dark Temple. I beg you to do me, and more importantly, the Empire, a favor. The expeditions I sent in were looking for specific data. I can spare the manpower. They were slaves mostly, but the data is essential.
What kind of data was it?
We were studying a recent increase in seismic activity in the area, including possible damage to the temple itself. The slaves from the expeditions were equipped with data pads to store the data they collected. Bring back those data pads. This information's vital to future construction on Dromund Kaas. It's not glamorous, but will you help?
I wouldn't call it a challenge, but it seems straightforward.
Amazing. Fantastic. Your help is invaluable. I'll mark the location the expedition last signaled from on your map. It's the best I can do.
At last, the Dark Council has answered my petitions and sent a fine young Sith to help secure the temple.
What's happening here?
Of course, I've been ignored again. How stupid of me. If you're here, however, you must have the authority to enter the Dark Temple. You could still save this planet.
You have my complete, undivided attention.
Dark Temple is ancient, built during a previous incarnation of our empire. 1,000 years ago, our own emperor buried his enemies here. These enemies remain powerful, even in death, which is why the temple was sealed. But now, something terrible has happened.
Some idiot went and woke them up.
With the Emperor's attention elsewhere, a group of ambitious but ignorant Sith thought to gain power by raiding the temple. They didn't find the relics they sought. Instead, they awoke an ancient Sith Lord, Lord Kalig, and their expedition plunged into madness.
Are they still in there?
The ones who still live, yes. Because Lord Kalig died by ambush, I believe he awakened unaware of his own death, and his expectations became reality for those around him. His power overwhelmed all inside the temple, and even now the workers plot wars against each other, believing themselves Sith Lords, and drawing terrible power from Kalig himself.
What do you want me to do?
I care not about the fighting itself, only what it may cause. There are still more ancient Sith Lords whose spirits lay dormant in the temple. If the ancient Sith Lords are woken by the violence within, they could overrun Dromund Kaas.
Maybe that won't happen.
We're not going to be saved by optimism, young one. I have studied all of the burial chambers within. Each was made with the same ancient design, one we can exploit. If you fuse the 500-kilogram hinges on each tomb door, even a violent assault should not be able to wake the ancients.
There will be no survivors.
That will not stop the next group of idiots from putting us right back in this situation. The team I sent in earlier was using a massive metal torch, effective but slow, I'm afraid. They did not make it far. The torch must be recovered, and the doors of the ancients sealed.